So this is quite a strange form of propagating a plant, but let's try it out. Hey guys, this is Martin from Big Boy Plants, and we're back from a short break we had during the last couple of weeks. So we are back recharged. Alright, so today's turn is for the beautiful Watermelon Peperomia that's been with me for a little bit more than 1 month. I really like the shape and color of its leaves, and there are some signs of potential blooming soon, hopefully as well. I gotta say, it's the perfect companion for my raindrop peperomia. So in this video, I will talk about what's working well for me to take care of my watermelon peperomia, and at the end, I will show you some propagation tips, which include the peculiar cutting that you already saw. Stay tuned. Before we get started, I just wanted to say that if it's the first time you're watching one of our videos and you love plants, I highly encourage you to hit the subscribe button. We release a new video every week, well, almost every week, about our favorite houseplants and how to take care of them. Sometimes we do more fancy stuff like propagation experiments or plant tours. Alright, so let's start talking about watering. For this beauty, watering usually happens once per week. However, before filling your watering can or whatever device you use, I would suggest that you check the soil moisture beforehand. That's it. Check the top 1 or 2 inches of the soil to ensure that they are dry. The reason for this is that these plants love it moist but not soggy. And by doing this quick checkup, you reduce the risk of overwatering your plant and put it at risk of root rot as well. Also, reduce the amount of water in spring and winter because evaporation could decrease and the plant might enter into a dormant phase. Moving on to light care. And here's a nerdy fact. The watermelon peperomia or Peperomia argyria grows at the bottom of South American forest canopies. These are shaded areas with little direct sunlight. As you try to imitate such conditions, you should place your watermelon peperomia in a shaded area where it receives indirect light. If you're growing your plant indoors, place it near an east-facing window where it can enjoy a few hours of the morning sun. Avoid too much direct sunlight, as the color of the variegated leaves is likely to fade. What's even worse, the leaves can get sunburned and scorched. Now let's talk about temperature and humidity. The watermelon peperomia can grow in a great variety of regions around the world. Hence, it will thrive in temperatures between 60 Fahrenheit or 15 Celsius and 85 Fahrenheit. That's about 29 Celsius. In the temperate regions, the plant grows in temperatures as low as 50 Fahrenheit or 10 Celsius, as long as you don't do any drastic changes in temperature and the reduction of the temperature is progressive. Also, this plant can survive in temperatures as high as 100 Fahrenheit or 37 Celsius degrees. However, provide indirect sunlight and a lot of humidity. Too much heat dries the soil and will cause the leaves to wither. It also increases the chances of mites and scales infestation. Placing the watermelon peperomia near air conditioning vents causes temperature and humidity challenges because of the drafts created by the circulating air. If you're having a hard time with keeping it humid, feel free to mist the plant and to keep the air around moist. You may add a pebble water tray at the base of the plant to enhance humidity through evaporation. Last but not least, plant grouping is also an alternative because it mimics the canopies in South American forests. Right, now let's talk about one of my favorite topics, which is propagation. So from what I researched online, there are 2 main propagation methods: using single leaf cuttings and using leaf plus petiole cuttings. Now let's try each of these methods. But before moving on, let's talk about the elements or materials that you would need. First place, get some shears or knife to make the cuttings. Make sure to sanitize it. Then get a little glass of water, and also you'll need a pot with soil. And last but not least, your plant. And make sure to spot some old leaves where I suggest you make the cuttings. Then we'll get the shears and start making the cuttings. So I'm choosing some stems here and making the cutting. You can check it out how it looks. So I'm kind of choosing the oldest leaves or leaves that I see with some deterioration. But anyways, you can also use healthy leaves. And then I'll put them here in this small glass of water, and I will leave them for some weeks until the roots start coming out. Now let's move to the next propagation method, which is using leaves. So I'll choose other leaves to cut. And first I'm gonna cut them from the stems. So here is one. And here's another one. There goes another one. Okay, so up next we're gonna take the leaves or stem cuttings and make these additional cuttings to just leave the leaves without stems, and you'll see why this is important. And now I'm gonna grab the little pot with soil that I have here. I'm gonna moisten it a bit so I can mold better the soil, and I'm gonna start placing the leaves. So make sure the back of the leaf where you made the last cutting is kind of rooted or placed into the soil, because that's where the roots start coming out. So it's important that the back of the leaf is placed properly inside the soil so it can get the sufficient nutrients to incentivize the rooting process. Making this hole for the last one and making sure it's in place, it is standing strong. Then I'm going to carefully put some additional water. And that's it. Make sure to give proper light care and water it once in a while. Now let's go through some of the most frequently asked questions related to the watermelon peperomia. Question number 1. Is watermelon peperomia toxic to cats? Well, good news. It's not toxic to cats or dogs. It is a friendly houseplant even around children. Question number 2. Are peperomia plants poisonous? Well, similarly to the question we just answered, these plants are one of the safest species you can have indoors. Touching the plant or coming in contact with its sap will not result in any adverse reactions like allergies or sensitivity. So, bonus point for this plant. Question number 3. Why is my peperomia dropping its leaves? Well, this may occur because you might be overwatering the plant or underwatering your plant. So make sure to check its soil moisture levels every other day to keep it moist but not soggy. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it. I hope it helps you whenever you're considering to grow and care for a watermelon peperomia. As you could see, it's an amazing plant, very straightforward to grow it and to take care for. It's a very plant amateur species for people like me who sometimes get intimidated with all these caring tasks related to plants. So if you have any questions or comments, anything you would like to add to this guide, please post it below. I would love to check it out and see what we could add for a future update of this video. Again, thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more updates and plant guides that we try to release every week. I hope to see you next time. Until then, happy planting!